My name is Shayna Shigalev. I am 37, almost 38, and I work in Sha'arim, and I have more than one job. So I work in the office, and I work in hospice. I also work at Southview Acres. But the thing I really want to do, which I feel like one day maybe, if people have more open-minded, would be to work in a flower shop. Because it's my dream job that I've always wanted to do my whole life.
Shayna is our first child. We were extremely excited when she was born. She was a gorgeous baby. Smiled, loving, responded to us.
And when we looked at her, she was such a beautiful newborn baby. We were like, yeah, we're naming her Shayna, which of course means pretty. We started to notice when she was about 6 months old that she wasn't reaching some of her major developmental milestones.
I think we noticed that she didn't crawl, but at the time she was such a delightful baby, I didn't even want to listen to the doctor, want to believe the doctor when he said that she's got some challenges. Just wanted to believe that she's going to grow out of them and she's going to be okay.
That's where we got her first diagnosis, when she was 9 months old. We got more and more diagnoses when she was 15 months old, and then when she was 2 years old. We went to so many different specialists and doctors trying to figure things out, flooded ourselves with information, trying to figure out what to do. 30 years ago, the world of special needs was very different than it is today. There was a lot less available.
And for us, it was all from the bottom up, trying to find out, well, what kind of resources were available to Shayna.
There was a period of time where we very strongly considered leaving the Twin Cities area, moving away from here, because there really wasn't anything of structure in the Jewish community at that time. All the resources were stepping out of the community, and we didn't want that.
I went to Torah Academy, and in the beginning, it was very hard for me. Like, I couldn't grasp anything. It's like, took me 10 to 15 tries. And then, in second or third or fourth grade, I found out that I had a learning difference.
There were well-meaning people who would come in and try to work with students who had different types of learning challenges and different types of special needs. They weren't necessarily trained in anything, but they were good people who wanted to help. And that was basically what was available, and there wasn't anything that was organized in any way. So I went back to school and got my master's in educational leadership with a focus on administration and special education to understand what else we could do for Shayna.
I think at that time we had 3 children. Hannah was pregnant with the 4th, but this was so important to her that she realized that she needed to get the proper training to be able to do this.
We were pretty determined to keep her in the system and successful.
There were a group of families who were also strongly motivated to provide services for their children. This core group of families got together and they started a program, started very small till it got big enough, and they asked Hannah to take it over. And she did, and she grew it into what it is today.
I think the common theme of the 7 families that got together around a dining room table one night and tried to start an organization was that people just wanted to help their own families and help their own children. Sha'arim began for that first year with 1 teacher and just a few students in a small classroom in Torah Academy. The next year we brought Hannah on board to guide and direct, and we were changing kids' lives, and we felt like $1 million doing it. And then we were sought after, and could you change the lives of other children in the Hebrew schools, in the religious schools, in other environments. Every year something new was brought to us and said, hey, can you change this world? We never sat down around a table and said, okay, we're going to create this, we'll see if there's a need. There was always a need, and we answered a need. And that's how Sha'arim grew and grew and grew.
25 years ago, it started as educational support in one Jewish day school. 25 years later, it is educational support in 6 Jewish partner schools, it's social recreational programming, it's informal adult education, it's vocational training for adults with disabilities, it's community facilitation, it's educational training, it's resources for families, it's direct support for families.
I think we all want the people we love in our lives and our kids to have a place that they can be in a community where they are valued, where they can make a contribution that is valued. When it came to be time for Gabe to be ready to start his Jewish education, I reached out to Hannah and to Sha'arim, and we were in conversations with getting things started at Chabad, and it has been phenomenal. It's been a great community for him. They've been super welcoming and super supportive of him.
It's not just about the individual things Sha'arim has done, it's also about the pathways that have been opened up. It's about the gateways that have been opened up to so many other things because people now know it's possible.
We went to lobby up at the state capitol with Sha'arim, and we got support from state legislators, and we were trying to raise awareness and education about the need to help students, whether they're in public schools or private schools or in after-school programming. And it took a lot of work, and eventually we were able to get legislation passed in 2005 that created a special education task force.
Because of Sha'arim, people today really have an understanding that there's so much out there and that they can really help their children and they can really advocate for their children. And Sha'arim is always there to help them in every single way.
Sha'arim was also involved in helping raise an awareness of this whole population in the community. And I think some of the great things that have yielded from that were the inclusion program at the JCC. The JHAP facility was also a spin-off of the awareness that was raised, and altogether there are in Minneapolis many more resources for Jews with special needs than there were 25 years ago.
Well, I think we're leaps and bounds, like galaxies away from where we used to be. I can't overstate it enough about what Sha'arim has been able to do to not only just raise the awareness level, but to really make a difference, a tremendous difference in the lives of so many individual children who are now adults themselves and to their parents.
What Hannah does is she's such a good advocate and she's so positive and organized, and I think that she understands where organizations are and what's possible, and she meets them where they are.
I'm impressed by her perseverance, her persistence, her patience, and look what it's done for so many people. It's been a game changer. She's been a lifesaver for many. And I wish her and Sha'arim so much mazel tov and yasher koach and going from strength to strength. It's going to pay dividends for individuals, but for our community for generations to come.
This all came from Shayna. Shayna was the impetus. Shayna was the person that propelled me forward in everything that I do. And she really became the driving force behind everything that Sha'arim is about. She changed me, and I can honestly say, she changed the face of the Minneapolis Jewish community just by being who she is.
I feel like Hashem wanted me to help out these people. He put me in this world so that other people can get help.
I just feel like we are an organization that's going to continue to go, as we say in Hebrew, Mechayel al Chayel, from strength to strength. We have a lot of work that we've been able to do until now, but we have so much more that we're going to continue to do, and I'm really excited to see what the next 25 have to bring.